Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Techno Talks here. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a speed test between the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Google Pixel 7 Pro. So you might be wondering why it's been this long for me to do a speed test, and one of the main reasons for this is because I actually wanted to go ahead and use both these devices as my daily drivers before I actually did a speed test, and actually wait for all the updates so they do become as stable as possible when I'm doing these speed tests. So that is basically the reason why it actually took so long for me to do a speed test on these devices. So right away, let's go ahead and get the specs out of the way, starting off the S23 Ultra, where we do get the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 4 Galaxy chipset, and we also do get 12 gigabytes of RAM. And with the Google Pixel 7 Pro, we do get their in-house Tensor G2 chipset with, again, 12 gigabytes of RAM. So RAM-wise, they do both have the same amount of RAM, but again, we will have to see how well they've been optimized to actually go ahead and beat each other out in the RAM management test. So first up, I'd like to go ahead and start off with a boot up test, as always, in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so both these devices, waiting for them to power on. This really doesn't show much. As I say in all my speed test videos, these videos are mainly for entertainment. They don't really prove much, especially in this day and age. The Pixel 7 Pro did beat out the S23 Ultra, and one of the main reasons for that is because flagship devices nowadays, they barely have any differences between each other, and so having these little tests don't really prove much. And again, the Pixel 7 Pro does beat out the S23 Ultra in the boot up test. So let me go ahead and power on both these devices, or actually get into the home screen, get on their apps, and let's go ahead and start with the speed test. Now that we're on the home screen for all the apps, we can go ahead and begin with our speed test. So first up, I do have some stock apps up top. We have some social media apps, we have some shopping apps, we have YouTube, Starbucks, and then we have games. And then to finish it off, we do have a Geekbench 6 CPU benchmark test, which we will be doing at the end. So they are both connected to the same Wi-Fi, and as you can see, I have all the apps closed out, so nothing is in using up the RAM. So we can go ahead and begin with the test. So starting off with calculator, that was the S23 Ultra. Calendar, that was the S23 Ultra again. Clock, seems like the S23 Ultra. Now moving on to camera. That felt like the Pixel 7 Pro. I'm not exactly sure about that one. And again, if I do get anything wrong, there will definitely be human error in these tests. Just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll go ahead and fix that up. So Instagram, that seems like the S23 Ultra. Twitter, let's go ahead and see which one loads up. And that was the S23 Ultra by just a slight bit. Groupon, alright, that was very similar for both. ESPN, let's see which one loads up the video first, and that is going to be the Pixel 7 Pro. Amazon, that is going to be the Pixel 7 Pro for loading up everything. eBay, that's going to be the S23 Ultra. YouTube, that is going to be the S23 Ultra, I think. Starbucks, alright, so very similar, not exactly sure about that one. And now we can move on to our games. So far it's been going very similar. The S23 Ultra is just a tad bit faster. That's probably due to the animations on this device. They're all different. The Pixel 7 Pro just has these slower, smoother animations. It might be a little faster on the S23 Ultra, so that's what's mainly affecting it. But overall, they've been doing pretty well. So Smashy Road Wanted 2. Let's go ahead and see which one loads up first. Does seem like the S23 Ultra. Did take it for the first game, Temple Run 2. And again, these apps are all updated to their latest version for the devices, and so I have done this test before I actually started the video, just to be sure. Again, this is going to be the S23 Ultra, so let's just go ahead and quickly click play. And then Asphalt 9. These are a little heavier games on the CPU and the GPU, so let's go ahead and see which one actually takes it. And that felt like the S23 Ultra for a second, but I believe it did not. This test wasn't very valid because of the accounts, but they were very similar. So Dead Trigger 2, I probably won't be counting that. Dead Trigger 2, let's go ahead and see. Again, this is a pretty heavy game. That's going to be the S23 Ultra first, and then if we do go ahead and click play in 3, 2, 1, it's going to see which one loads up the game first. Feels like the Pixel 7 Pro, but that might be the S23 Ultra. They are very similar right now. So let's just go ahead and see. Waiting up on both the devices to load this game in. And that is going to be, I think the S23 Ultra, but I'm not exactly sure. So very well done on both these devices. And again, as I say in all my speed test videos, these tests don't really show anything. Day-to-day usage is what's going to show you everything. And since I've been daily driving both these devices, especially the S23 Ultra, I've been on this device for a little while now, and I did actually crack that, if you can see from the display. But they are both very nice machines, very nice flagship devices. And in day-to-day usage, I do prefer the S23 Ultra. It does definitely outperform the Pixel 7 Pro, and we will actually see that in a little bit once we do the Geekbench test. So let's go ahead and open up all our apps again, just to see if we do have any reloads. Doesn't seem like it so far. Camera is just going to reopen itself, so can't count that. Instagram seems fine. Twitter, again, seems fine. Groupon, nice to know. So far everything's been keeping open, or they've stayed open. eBay, again, very nice. YouTube. Was that a reload on the S23 Ultra? That might have been a reload, I'm not exactly sure. Starbucks, it's going to be the same. Both the games are open, nice to know. Temple Run 2, we do have a reload on the S23 Ultra. So the first reload on this phone, and the Pixel 7 Pro is currently in the lead. So the S23 Ultra is losing right now. Asphalt 9, no reloads there, good to know. Dead Trigger 2, and no reloads. So the Pixel 7 Pro does take it by 1 or maybe 2 apps. I think that was 1. YouTube might have reloaded, but I'm not exactly sure. But again, the Pixel 7 Pro did keep Temple Run 2 open, and unfortunately the S23 Ultra wasn't able to keep it open. So let's go ahead and close out all of these apps and move on to our CPU benchmark. So in our CPU benchmark, we are going to get the scores. I'm going to go ahead and run these tests real quick, and once these are open, we'll go ahead and examine the scores, and I will give my final thoughts on how actually these perform in day-to-day usage, because I have used these both for an exponential amount of time to actually give you guys an idea of what they feel like in day-to-day usage. So I'll go and cut the video right here and wait for these to finish up. Alright, so the test is done for both the devices, and here are the results. So taking a look at the Pixel 7 Pro, we can see that the single core score is going to be 1400, and for the S23 Ultra, we can see that it is 1800. And with the multi-core, we do get 3100 on the Google Pixel 7 Pro, and with the S23 Ultra, we almost get 5000. So a very significant difference with the multi-core scores. The single core is a little closer, but it is still a fairly nice difference. And in my personal use case, the S23 Ultra definitely is a nice flagship device to own. So with the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset that was developed for Galaxy, I've noticed that Samsung has improved a lot of their things, and in overall use cases, when I'm using the phone outside, when it gets hot, it still performs really nice. And this year with the S23 series, I can finally say Samsung has caught up to one particular company with their performance, and that's probably going to be Apple. So I've been a Samsung fan for a while, and I've used all their devices, and with the S22 Plus that I had, it was still a nice phone, but with the S23 Ultra, I saw that there was a lot of improvements, and that comes to show in day-to-day usage. With the Pixel 7 Pro, on the other hand, it has improved from the Pixel 6 Pro. The 6 Pro was still a nice device, but there was a lot of overheating issues. What the Pixel 7 Pro still has, however, it's a little less compared to the Pixel 6 Pro. So Google still has some time to improve their own chipset. It is an in-house chipset, so they do need a little more time compared to Apple and Samsung. Samsung's using Snapdragon chipsets, which have been developed for a really long time now, and Apple's been developing their own in-house chipset for a long time as well. So Google still has some time to actually take things into its own hands with the flagship way of things that they're doing it, but I still think the Pixel 7 Pro does need some improvement. So performance-wise and overall usage, you probably won't be able to tell too many differences. However, you could probably tell a little bit when using both devices, but if you were to go for the Pixel 7 Pro or the S23 Ultra, you won't be disappointed. So they are both very great devices. So that'll basically wrap it up for this video. As always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see y'all in the next one.